Hey, everybody. All right. Thank you so much for coming tonight. All right. So tonight's training call, it is November 27th. We are, as a company, we are just freight training it right through fourth quarter. November so far for me and a few people on the team has been phenomenal. Um, what I wanted to talk about and train about tonight was belief. So belief, boy, that transcends like everything. Belief in yourself, belief in your product, belief in the company, belief in like other people, your team, or maybe you don't have a team. Maybe your lack of belief in a team is what's keeping you from creating a team. I think the success and failure of everyone in this company comes down to one word: belief. So first off, you've heard people say the cheesy, like, find a why that makes you cry. I don't think it needs to make you cry. I think you just need to believe in something so much that you're willing to do whatever it takes for however long it takes to accomplish that goal. So if you don't start your journey off with a fairly clear roadmap, maybe not all the streets you're going to take to get there, but if you're going on a trip, you are 100% going to know, I live here. I want to get here. So if you live in Georgia and you want to get to Florida, well, I guess it would technically be like this, geographically speaking. You would know exactly geographically where you need to go to get there, right? Like in general, I need to head south. And depending on where in Florida, maybe a little more east, a little more west, depending on where you are in Georgia, that could also be true. But you know you've got to head south and you know your destination is Florida. What if someone said, well, what about Alabama? Would you just like to go to Alabama? I'll bet you would be like, no, who wants to go to Alabama? I mean, maybe you wouldn't be quite like that, but you were like, no, I was headed to Florida and that's where I'm going. So what happens when you start your business and you say, I'm going to Florida? You get 3 months into your business and you're like, South Georgia will do. Like, you just make these concessions for what? Because it was harder than you thought it would be? Because it's taking longer than you thought it would? Because you don't yet have the necessary skills in order to get to your destination? Maybe the only car available for you was a manual transmission and you don't know how to drive a manual transmission. You only know an automatic. And you push drive and you go. Maybe that's your problem. So what do? Do you just not go? Or do you learn how to drive the freaking car? You get a book, a manual, with paper, or you get on the internet. Now we have that. It's called Google. You can look up anything. Google, YouTube, training. We have a comprehensive training program. You have mentors, you have friends. There are ways to figure out how to do just about everything. You would figure out how to drive the manual transmission, wouldn't you? Unless you just truly believed that car was just meant for other people. I am just 100% not meant to drive that manual transmission. And if that was the belief system you had about your mode of transportation to get to your final destination, then you were probably never meant to get there. And you most definitely didn't have a strong desire to get there. Okay, a strong enough desire to put you on the path to start researching and figuring out exactly what you needed to learn in order to get to your final destination. So say you are a little bit scrappy, say you are resourceful and that you really want to get to that destination. So you start going and then your GPS breaks. And now you're like back to MapQuest. If you're old enough to understand that, good for you. If you're not, you're just not. You're very young. But used to be back in the old days, we'd have to get on the internet. We did have the internet, okay? You'd have to get on the internet. You'd have to type in where you were coming from, where you were going, and then this thing called MapQuest was there. And then you would print out the directions and you would be driving, okay? Driving with one hand, looking at the instructions, the map, turn left on Jenks Street. Oh, there's Jenks Street. And then you would turn and you would eventually maybe back up 3 or 4 times. You would get to where you were going. It may have taken a hot minute, but you would have gotten there. Good old MapQuest. You would have made a different plan. So say you got only to Alabama and then your GPS breaks. And you're like, okay, You would figure out how to get on the internet. You would get MapQuest and then you would finish the directions, right? Or you would phone in a friend. You would ask somebody, hey, how do I get the rest of the way to Florida? This is where I'm at. These are the troubles I'm having. How do I get the rest of the way? And then you know who you'd find? Would you find the person that lives in Colorado to help you get to Florida? Is that the person you would ask? No, because they've never been to Florida. They've lived their whole life in Colorado. They have no idea how to get there. Maybe you would find somebody who has actually traveled from Alabama to Florida. They've already done it. So then they'd say, oh, I know exactly where you need to go. And then they would point you in that direction. And you had such belief in your mission. You had such belief in the person who was giving you that information because you trust them. They've already done it. So you're like, well, need not reinvent the directions here. They've already done it. So you take their advice. You trust the process. And you know what? Getting there ended up taking you longer than you thought. But when you got there, oh, sweet release. You know what it took me to get here. But gosh, I'm so glad I'm here. Now I've got the wind, the waves, the sand. I've got the gulls, squawk, squawk in the background. I've got the sea salt spray in my face. I mean, I want to be on a beach right now. I want the sun beating down on my face. And I want to take a nap. You guys, you have to believe, first off, in yourself. You don't have to know everything before you get started. You don't have to have all the answers because you won't, because the ball game changes all the time. Marketing changes, people change, technology changes, products change, everything changes. So you have to believe in yourself enough to say, maybe I don't know exactly what I'm doing right now, but I know I can figure it out. I know I've got the resources and I know I can keep doing it. So say you make a post and it like totally falls flat. Nobody's interacting with it. Nobody's sharing with it. Nobody's commenting on it. And you're like, well, you've got two choices. You can say, oh my God, I suck. It's terrible. Just kick me out right now. I'm never posting on social media again. Or you can say, wow, that was really good data. I think I'll take that and, use that for my next piece of information and maybe not go that route. Maybe I'll try something different. You could get into the metrics of timing, but honestly, I don't really think the timing of the post is as important as the structure of your content and how impactful your message is. If your message is just, hey, buy my stuff and join my team, I don't think that's going to fall well. This is 4 years of learning marketing and learning human psychology and purchasing behavior. It doesn't generally fall well unless you are meeting those unicorn people that already know exactly what you do. They are already fully in love with it, and they're already bought into the idea of entrepreneurship or drinking the wine that we have. Like, they're already full on bought in. But those people are already full on bought in. They're already working with somebody. So they're probably not going to be working with you. So again, if that's your messaging, it may not be working very well. It may be working well. If it's working well for you, just disregard everything I'm saying right now. But I'm going to guess maybe it's not. So messaging, you can go back to the training. Just look it up. It's in the group where I trained on personal branding. So look that up and then start learning a little bit more what a personal brand entails. This training is about belief. So you first have to believe in yourself enough to even do the damn thing. Okay. Learn what you need to learn for the moment that you need to learn it, because I have a very firm belief that all people will learn exactly what they need to know when they need to know it. So if you never have a need to actually learn marketing and to progress your business, guess what? You won't. You won't do it. You won't do it. The call yesterday that Sarah did, we had another teammate on there, and she talked about, I was desperate. I was out of options. There was no choice but to succeed here, and succeed she has. If you haven't listened to that call, go into our back office. It's under the trainings. Listen to it. It was very inspiring. There was no other choice for her. She had looked at other options, but none of them were good, and none of them brought her to where she is now at the income level and the amount of impact she's been able to contribute to her team and to the world and to the product and to the industry as a whole. All signs led to, this is my one shot. I'm taking it. She had enough belief and grit and tenacity that she would take her shot and she would go with it. And she did. She did awesome. Okay. So you have to have belief in yourself. You have to have belief in the company. Now, look, I know that we have a young company, and I know that our company was founded by a lawyer. It wasn't founded by a business person. So everything business, she has had to learn from the ground up, or she has had to hire people who had, I think, little patience for small beginnings and then rapid growth in 2020, because there was a massive growth there, and then we've not retracted. We have slightly corrected, but we are still on this upward trajectory that in the business world is incredibly fast and incredibly big. So right now it's like, let's pump the brakes a little bit and slow down so that we can get our product, our people, and our logistics under control. That way we keep the consumer base and the consultancy that we have, before we just like try and just massively blow up all over again, right? So rapid growth is not always a good thing for big companies. Anyway, or companies attempting to be big. What I want for you to know is A, you have to believe in yourself. B, you have to believe in the company. And C, you have to believe in your product. If you're not willing to tell anyone, hey, I have the best product in the world, here's why. Hell, that one lady said, well, what other stuff do you, she said to me the other day, I don't recall where I was. I think I was at an event. She said, what other, that's exactly where I was. Actually, I was at an opening event. And she said, so what other stuff do you drink? And I said, I don't. And she, that's really funny. I was like, I'm not kidding. I said, I don't drink any other wine. She's like, oh, well, I thought you were like a wine consultant. I said, I am a wine consultant for the clean crafted wine company, Scout and Cellar. I don't represent any other brand. I won't bash any other brand, but I'm certainly not going to drink their product, and I'm not going to talk about it. So, and I haven't, not since the day I met Scout and Cellar have I bought and consumed anyone else's product. I just didn't. I did have a couple sips from some Prosecco that my girlfriend brought over yesterday, and it wasn't ours because we don't have Prosecco yet. But I mean, she was out of town, and there is a, defining characteristic about being rude. Anyway, not part of the training, but threw that out there to be fully transparent. Yes, I did have a couple sips of that Prosecco. Anyway, moving forward, you have to believe in your product enough to say, this is the best product in the world. You need to buy it. This is the best product in the world. You need to buy it. Yes, absolutely. I believe in it. Well, is it as good as they say? Of course it's as good as they say. Well, would you drink anything else? Nope. Never in a million years. Well, what other kind of oil? Nope. That's the oil I use on my salads all the time. Won't use anything else. Do you guys understand? The level of belief has to be so deep into your core that it becomes part of who you are. It's no longer just a thing I do. It is like, that's who you are now. You are a clean crafted representation of a mission that fills your soul. And if you're like, girl, I am not that excited, I just wanted to share a few bottles of wine, great. You will never have a big business, and that's okay, because that's not what you came here for then. If you can't feel that into your soul and really live that out loud, all you will ever do is sell a little bit of wine here and there, and that's okay. It really, really is. But I don't know that the hobbyists need training on mindset, right? I don't think they're the people who are like, I need training on my mindset on how to have a girls' night and talk about my wine. Like, you're just not doing that. You're just like, hey, girls, I got some wine. Come on over. Maybe I'll buy a few bottles, make one big order, and combo split it. I mean, you could do that. That would make sense for you. And you wouldn't be like, I think I need to work on my mindset about having my friends over. That's not you. That's not you. So you're probably not even going to listen to this anyway. But this training is meant for clearly my team. But if you're watching on my YouTube channel, anybody who is in the direct marketing space, like, I'm training you too. This is for you. I don't make any money from you at all. This is just my gift to the network marketing industry or the business world as a whole. Anyone that can take value out of what I'm saying and apply it to their life and have a better outcome. That's why I show up every week and do the trainings at home. Well, I've got the toddler crying outside my door and the other kids watching a movie. I take away that time from them to give it back to the world. because I think that's my responsibility as somebody who's doing well in the industry, has a team that they're responsible for leading, and getting to that point of self actualization, right? I believe in my gift of speech and communication and boldness enough to be able to share that with the world. That's belief. That's belief that I'm going to do so much more here than just hawk a few bottles of wine. That I'm going to make such a huge impact on my team that it's going to blow up. I have such belief in what I'm doing that I want to offer it to you for those times where you don't have it, or that it's lacking, or maybe it's not as strong as you would like it to be. You've got to take it from somebody else. Use that energy and bring it inside. And that has got to be what fuels you in those days where you've just got, you just feel defeated. You feel beat down. You're exhausted. I'm tired. But you just keep going. You keep moving forward and you keep borrowing that belief from other people. I do it all the time. I take belief from other people. I see the success of other people on the big team, and I say, there's no reason in the world why she could have that success and I can't. She's not any better than me. I mean, if you genuinely think somebody else is just that much better than you need a little bit more counseling. You need to work on your brain a little bit more, because I'm here to tell you that they're not. Maybe they have a different skill set. Maybe their niche is a little bit different. Maybe their consumer base is going to look a little bit different, but it doesn't make them better. It makes them unique, which is what every human on this planet is. It's a unique representation of their mother and father's DNA and how that combined to create one original human. Only one. Rare, right? That's you. And you have a message that other people are going to resonate with. Not all people, but your people. You all have people. It's a very big world with an internet that is incredibly expansive. There's no reason in the planet why you can't touch the people that are meant to hear from you, but you're only going to do that if you practice a belief set that says, I am who they need. I have the opportunity for them. I have the skills to transfer to them. Me, I'm it. You have to have belief. Okay. That is all. That is what I want to talk about. And I talk about that, I think, kind of frequently, because it's something that I've had to work really hard at for a very long time. So I've been in the business now for over 4 years, and I have really had to work on, why am I not good enough? Why haven't I gotten where I wanted to be yet? Why? The why doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It really doesn't. Why haven't I? Like, the questions don't matter. What matters the most is that you keep going, and that your success, you also have to believe that your success is inevitable. It is going to happen when you have put forth the effort to learn the skills, you show up consistently, and you have an energy that says, I'm here for it. I'm here for the long haul, and I'm ready to take on whatever you throw at me. Okay. That's the energy you have to step into your business with. It is not going to work any other way. Okay. All right. That is what I've got for you. And thank you so much for coming here tonight. And I will catch you guys next week. Okay. Ciao.